Hey, welcome back. You are listening to Ultimate Affiliate Marketing. I am your host, as always, is Paul Motley. And today is super exciting. I have a very special guest on. And now, without teasing out too much, this is the guy that Tony Robbins said is one of the top affiliate marketers on the planet. And he actually died and came back to life. And since then, he's been on a mission to equip experts to increase their income, influence, and impact. Everybody, welcome Bryan Dulaney. Bryan, how you going, man?
Doing great, Paul. Great to be here.
Awesome. Right now, so I don't think I've read this, and a lot of people probably didn't know this before, but where did the whole dying and coming back to life thing, when did all that happen?
Yeah, so that happened quite a while ago, but it was in 2003. I was in Slippery Rock University, at my first university. It's a public school, and so that happened, and thankfully I'm here. But the doctor did call my parents. The doctor did call my parents and say, your son's going to either die or be brain dead for life. Oh, that was the diagnosis the night before, and then I miraculously came out of that the next morning. It was in a coma for about 9 hours. Yeah, that sucks. And then came out of it miraculously.
So, obviously, you didn't remember anything about it while you were under. It's just you were asleep, no dreams, that type of thing. But yeah,
unfortunately, I didn't go over to the other side or anything like that.
Good stories.
Good stories. I was out, blacked out, cold, black, dark, and then I just woke up and three doctors were rushing to my bedside as they were singing "He's Alive." So
that's fine. We don't want to impose on people with any religious beliefs or anything like that, because there's two things that I've learned in marketing. You stay away from religion, you stay away from politics, and then,
right.
then you're pretty well safe.
And you're pretty good to go.
Yeah. You can offend everybody else on the planet, but just not those two sets of people. That's right. Fine. Awesome. So anyway, where did the whole affiliate marketing journey start for you? I mean, what sort of triggered it off? How did it all become?
I got into it because I was at Slippery Rock. Well, no, sorry. I was at Liberty University at this time. I transferred out of the public school, went to a Christian university, just because I knew I needed to be surround myself with people of a different value system that weren't just interested in partying all the time. And so I ended up at Liberty University, and it was a great, phenomenal school. And so I started my personal development journey actually about 2005. I started consuming. I got introduced to Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, Og Mandino. The Choice was the first book I read from him, The Greatest Salesman in the World. I just fell in love with this whole world of personal growth and success. And I wished I would have known about it when I was a kid, because I hated reading. I had trouble reading growing up, and I went to special classes for reading because I couldn't comprehend things as a little kid. And when I found, personal development in 2005, I was just, floored by it. So I went down the rabbit hole, as they say, right? And I just started consuming everything I could. I remember one of the stories from Tony Robbins. He talked about how he, he consumed everything he could. So I was like, okay, well, if you want to be successful, find someone who's successful and model it, right? And I was like, okay, well, Tony's probably a good guy to model. So I just went down the rabbit hole. And so I would buy a book, and then if they mentioned any other books, I'd buy everything that they mentioned, and I'd read that and read those materials. And so for 2 years, I was on a mission. I didn't really date at all. I was just developing myself, and it was fun. It was a fun time of life. And I came upon actually internet marketing and affiliate marketing through my journey of personal growth. People were talking about how you can make money on the internet, and the best way to do that, which they were saying, was be an affiliate, or the easiest way was to be an affiliate and sell other people's stuff. So you don't have to develop your own products. You don't have to, handle the fulfillment. It was a great bridge to me, to be honest. It was a great bridge from being in university, working on my master's degree and in entrepreneurship, to then getting into this world of marketing online.
Sure.
So that was my bridge. I was working on my MBA, and then I found you can make money on the internet. You can sell other people's stuff. All you got to do is drive some traffic to some funnels for other people, and then you'll get paid a commission. And thankfully it worked out for me, because within the first 7 days of buying my first domain name, I had an email come through that said, "You made a sale," which is the best email ever, right? "You made a sale!" ! And it was $750 for one sale. And I was like, oh my God, like
That's
if
great.
I did the math. I was like, if I just do this once a day, I'll make $250,000 a year. Like that would be amazing.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool, right? And
Yeah.
anyone just starting out would suddenly go, yes. And everyone that you speak to always remembers their first sale, don't they? They always remember that feeling, that buzz that they got. Do you still get that when you get the notifications come through, or does someone else handle that and they just tell you what the report is at the end of the quarter?
Yeah, I don't get the notification anymore because it'd be overwhelming. It would just be like, you know what I mean? Like every minute, but yeah, no, receiving, new customers is always a thrill. I mean, we have stuff that's evergreen, meaning it's like constant and sales come in all the time. And we have other things where we do like launches and, it's a big spike in sales
Yeah.
and there is still a rush from that, when you get, say 500 or 600 customers at $2,000 a pop come in like a 1 week period of time. That's a fun feeling too.
I mean, there's numerous achievements that we can go over, and we can get to that in a minute. I just wanted to quickly mention that obviously, I've been on your YouTube channel, and anyone that's listening should go and find you on there, because I noticed that, and I always do this, I like to look back on people's videos, because anyone that is really authentic will leave the old videos up, and you can see where they started and where they came through and come forward. But you don't have to go that far back to find something which I found was incredible value, which was last year. You did a whole month of videos all in one go. And that was, I'm still working through it. There's so much content there. It's incredible. But where did the idea come for that? And what was the sort of like the goal for it? What was the motivation behind doing a whole month's worth of content?
Yeah, so I was just preparing when I did that. It was right around the time when I had just launched a brand new funnel and a campaign, the free golden ticket, right?
Yeah.
And so I committed to doing one piece of content per day for 30 days. I ended up doing, I think, 31 days.
Yeah.
Because I'm a big fan of over delivering. If you say you're going to do 30, just do more, right? I'm a big fan of that. So I ended up doing 31 days. I committed to doing it, and it was like a challenge to myself, an internal challenge. It's like every day I'm going to show up. I'm going to add massive value, and then I'm going to make an invitation to grab my free golden ticket for free plus shipping for $9.
Yeah, that was cheap, wasn't it?
The idea was it came alongside of the launch of a brand new campaign, which I'm rather proud of, actually.
Yeah, no, that's cool, man. And it was early as well, right? I mean, you were doing this like sometimes like 7 a.m.
Yeah. So it was 7 a.m. every day.
Yeah.
And I didn't calculate it properly because my buddy had a bachelor party on the East Coast in Florida. So I had a pickle. That's 4 a.m. Like you can't be filming videos at 4 a.m. There's lights not out yet, I mean, you just turn the lights on, right? But yeah. I was like, how am I going to do this? I got to fly there. I'm going to be at a bachelor party. It's probably not the best time to be doing video production, right? So thankfully, I was able to pre-record some stuff and then use the software to publish it at that time. So I never missed a beat.
Oh, that's good. That's good, because yeah, you could imagine, couldn't you, trying to have to make that time when perhaps wasn't the best idea the day after a bachelor party, because those things can get pretty wild. So I've been on a few. It is what it is. So that's cool. Right. So let's talk about some successes, because there are some pretty well publicized ones. One of which is something very close to my heart, which is the ClickFunnels. For anyone that doesn't know, it's a software as a service, sales funnel builder, and much more that goes in between. But when did you actually happen across that? Was that a consequence of using something else, or did you just see it one day and thought, that's for me?
I've been friends with Russell for a long time, so been big fan of his. I've been a testimony for him, years before ClickFunnels ever launched. I was at Traffic and Conversion Summit here in San Diego with Ryan Dice and Perry Belcher and those guys, and I saw Russell. I'm like, hey man, this is 2014. I was like, hey man, what are you working on? He's like, oh, I'm working on this new platform. It's going to be a funnel builder. And I was like, oh, cool. What is it? He's like, oh, it's called Success, etc. I'm like, what's the name? Like, that's weird. Like, that's a weird brand name. He's like, oh, well, I think about renaming it ClickFunnels. I was like, yeah, you should definitely do that.
Yeah.
And that very week I bought ClickFunnelsBonus.com. I bought ClickFunnelsNinja.com. Like, I bought some domains around it because I'm an affiliate at heart. Like, that's how I got my start.
Yeah.
You know, so that's how my brain is wired. Like, I just think that way. So I literally secured some domain names and I said, you know, if this is what I think it's going to be, and I built software for funnels myself in the past, but I was like, if this is what it's going to be, if this is what he's, you know, saying it's going to be, then this could potentially be a great opportunity. And so obviously I ended up calling it ClickFunnels and changing the name. And I became one of the very first users of it in beta. And then eventually I started slowly promoting it until he launched the Dream Car program. And he said, hey, you know, I forget if he reached out. I think he did. He reached out to me and said, hey, man, we're going to be doing a Dream Car thing. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. So then I was like, okay, like I was already at probably like 40 or 50 accounts. And so I was like, okay, let's throw some budget to it. And then like within rather quick period of time, I passed 100 and won a car, which was awesome. You know, like Russell and the team have been paying for my car for the last over 5 years now, actually.
It's very kind of them, isn't it? That's great.
Which is awesome. I've been trying to talk them into doing a dream house program, but they haven't done they haven't done the dream house yet.
Yeah, no, there's been all sorts of things. We could go for the dream jet, I suppose. We could go for like the dream house. We could go for the dream island. You know, there could be all sorts. There's probably going to be a few people which are going to be eligible for that, but you know, it'd be a nice place to broadcast from anyway, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I think the dream house would be a nice add-on for anyone who's in ClickFunnels that's listening.
Oh, believe you and me, I've spoken to Ben Harris over there and put these ideas forward, and I'll reiterate again and says, Bryan says we need this, so that's that. That's cool. That's cool. So obviously you got the dream car, and all this sort of like it started exploding. The accounts come flowing, because obviously I've seen quotes from Russell saying that you're one of, if not one, you know, you must be like there or thereabouts being their top affiliate anyway, because I know that Spencer Meekum's like really high up there as well, and there's probably a couple of others. So there's kind of like this real top one. If someone is starting out themselves, do you think that it is a lot harder for them to begin now? Or do you think that the methods of still getting up to that dream car status are still there for them to go for?
No, the methods are still the same. You know, the reality is that more and more people are coming on the internet, and more people need to shift from websites to funnels. Yeah. So, you know, I wouldn't look at it. It doesn't matter that, you know, it's kind of like network marketing. People are like, oh, you got to be you got to be one of the first to get in to really make it big. And it's not true. Yeah. Same thing applies with ClickFunnels. Like, there's so many people that have websites that need funnels, and there's so many more people that are coming online now amidst everything that's happening in the world. And so I wouldn't let that discourage you or put that limiting belief on yourself, or that cap or ceiling on yourself. Now more than ever is it a great time to promote ClickFunnels and promote funnels in general, because the reality is a funnel's always going to perform better than a website. But a website has its purpose, right? I always, you know, I share with my clients, you know, website's like your hub. Like, it's a place that people can go to learn more about you. It's a place that you should be using to build your blog, your content strategy. You know, your funnels are very specific. They're designed to send people down a specific path, whether that's a webinar or a challenge or a product you're selling. Like, the funnels serve a purpose. And so everyday entrepreneurs are now realizing the fact that they need more than a website. Like, just having a website is not going to cut it these days, right? And that's really the same message that's being echoed by ClickFunnels and Russell, is that, like, you know, the website's a thing of the past, like the website's dead, right? And then the birth of funnels, right? But more and more entrepreneurs are realizing that they need a way and a process in which generate leads and convert sales. That's really what it boils down to. Yeah. And ClickFunnels is the best platform out there, hands down. They've got over 400 employees, and I'm super loyal to them. I mean, there's all types of random new platforms that are, in my opinion, just great shiny objects. And I call them shiny ships. And people
you've got to be careful how you say that one, haven't you?
Shiny ship syndrome.
That's it. Yeah, like I say, you've got to be real careful how you say that. That's cool. Now, obviously, for people listening, that you're not going to see Bryan's background there, but he has some really shiny awards, we're going to call them.
Awards, yeah.
So just explain to me, what have you got there? Because you've got a whole bunch. It looks like record albums there. But so what are we looking at behind you? What is in your like immediate space right behind you there?
Yeah, so we've got 7-figure awards, 8-figure awards, and those are primarily the awards that are on the wall. Awards that can't even make the wall because the wall's full. They're on the floor. I've got awards coming, but basically it's recognition. I love ClickFunnels for that reason, is that they acknowledge and honor those who are successful and are producing results. Yeah. And so that's what it represents. It represents results because, in my opinion, the only thing people care about is results. Can you help them get from where they are to where they want to be? And we live in an age where self-education is expected to grow to $1 billion a day. Why? In my opinion, is because traditional education is broken and needs fixed, and nobody wants to do trial and error anymore. Why would you, when you can just model success or find someone who has the results you want and go and hire them or learn their ways, right? Like that's the secret side of the bag. So the self-education industry is going to be growing to $1 billion a day, according to Forbes.com, by 2025, right? We've got a great opportunity, a great window of time to jump on that opportunity.
Yeah, that's right? Great, man. That's crazy.
So that's what I always say. I say, listen, number one, go get results. If you don't have them yet, go get them, and then use those results to get more business, right? I mean, it's like a ball rolling down the hill, right? You roll the ball uphill long enough that eventually it has to roll back down. That's where I'm at in my career. I, been doing this for 14 years now, since 2006. So for many years, I rolled the ball up the hill and put in the work and the sweat and the tear, all the turmoil that I had to go through, all of the stuff, right? I mean, it'd be here for hours if I talked about, all the stuff that I've gone through. But eventually you get to a place, and it's different for everybody. You could get to the top of your hill in a couple months or a couple weeks, it might not have to take as long. But the reality is that there gets to be a point in your career, if you make it a career, right, which I would encourage everyone to do, don't dabble in anything. If you dabble in anything, you're going to get, if you treat it like a hobby, you're going to get hobby results, right? But if you treat it like a business, you're able to produce business-like results, right? Totally. And that's one of the biggest flaws that I see in this market, is that, number one, shiny ship syndrome happens all the time. And then people just, they don't think long enough or big enough. And they always think they're thinking about the now. Like, oh, I need to make an extra $5 grand or 10 grand or 20 grand or 100 grand or $1 million now. And they're short-sighted about the future, right? And some of the biggest marketers in the world are not thinking about now. They're thinking, like you think about like a mentor of mine, Tony Robbins, he's looking at the next, 30, 40, 50, 100 years out. It's like the things that he's working on, sure. Right? And so most entrepreneurs are dead in the water because they're only thinking about like the paycheck that they need right now. And so if you can try to get away from that, like get that out of your peripheral and focus on the future, you can really create a business that is amazing, and also and create one that's like, I love our business because it's a lifestyle dependent business as well. Like we have the great opportunity to travel and to do vacations and trips and spend quality time with our family. So to me, that's like a really high value. Whereas in like, if I had a job or anything else, like that wouldn't be possible. But having a business, we control our time, we control our income, and it's really great.
That's awesome, man. Now, you probably know, or anyone that's listening knows, that the podcast itself isn't aimed at like total beginners. So it is kind of like aimed towards people which are already on their journey and want to try and ramp up. Now, you mentioned about the knowledge business and self-development and everything like that. And that kind of leads me on a little bit to one of your other big successes, which was with Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins. And I just wanted to ask, because they had this real big launch, right? This huge, great big thing. It spread over weeks. And your name just kept popping up over and over and over again on the leaderboards. And I believe you made like top 5, I think, was for the sales.
Top 5 for the first launch, top 4 for the second.
Okay, that's good news. So planning wise, obviously, a lot of people think about launches and bits and bobs that come through that. But how long did it take you before the actual launch? Were you planning on doing what you were doing Because, you know, obviously you built something.
Well, the first launch, yeah. So the first launch I had less than a week because I made
Really? Wow.
I made a decision to promote that 1 week before registrations had to start. It was a very last minute decision, although worked out very well because we went all in on what we do best, which is marketing and selling online. And the second one, we had more time. So, you know, it's not that we did better the second time, but they didn't do as well as they wanted to the second time. So we did fine, but we placed top, you know, number 4. There was a lot more competition the second time around.
Sure.
Because they had a proven concept, proven results, proven customer testimonials, you know what I mean? All that stuff. The first time around, they didn't have any of that. It was a brand new product. It was a brand new training.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, believe it or not, we had less than 1 week of planning and preparation. Literally on a Friday, I made a decision when I was out with my wife at dinner. I said, hey, thinking about, you know, doing this promotion. I said, we talked, I said, I want to throw $50,000 at it and, you know, promote it to our database and stuff of that nature. And she's like, okay, cool. And she asked me a bunch of questions, you know, basically vetted it. And we said, okay. We ended up sinking some more money into it because it was so profitable. But literally I did the scripting. I built the funnel, built the offer, scripted out the videos over the weekend. And on Monday we started registrations. That's how fast that happened.
That is incredible.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's never normal. That's not normal at all.
So what do you think that made you stand out in front of so many of the people which were promoting it the first time and especially the second time as well? What do you think made the difference between
the difference was the offer. So we made a bonus that was so irresistible that the market said Dulaney has the best bonus for Tony and Dean's product. So as soon as that happened, so what happened was they had a private Facebook group for all their buyers. And someone asked the question, who has the best bonuses? And it was like, Dulaney, like it just poured through. So I used that headline as a slogan, the best bonus package for KBB. And I used it in all of our ads and all of our marketing. And so the next message that everybody saw was, it came from, it's the best marketing material comes from the market, you know, and that's a living proof of the message coming from the market. Because that truly did come. It wasn't like a made up. I didn't make that up. I didn't make up, oh yeah, we've got the best bonus. No, like a lot of people make that up.
Yeah.
No, we get that data from the marketplace, the people that actually bought it through us. And that's true of everything. Like people say you're one funnel, you know, Russell says you're one funnel away. And I'll say that's partly true. First, it's your one offer away, in my opinion, because when you have one really good offer with a great funnel, then you can print your ticket, if you will, right? You can, you know, write your own checks. It always boils down to having a really great offer. And think about it, like when you go out to a really nice restaurant, if they provide a really great experience, that's cool. But if they have crappy food, you're not coming back.
Yeah.
If they have really great food and a great experience, you're going to come back and you're going to tell everyone about it.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the analogy there, right? Think about it. Like the experience is the funnel. The food is the offer. If you have bad food, you're not going to be in business for very long. And so we made an offer that was like, that everybody else was like, how in the world can they even fulfill that? Like to the point where on the second launch, it was kind of funny because we promoted our bonus package weeks before the promotion started. And a bunch of other affiliates got all butthurt about it. Apparently, this is what the information that I got from Dean's team. They're like, hey, can you not promote the bonus yet? Because other affiliates are intimidated by your bonus. Okay. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, I hope you weren't one of them. It was like ridiculous. It was like, I was like, you guys get creative. You need to get creative. Like,
oh yeah, I think I went on your page as well. I saw it all and I was just like looking at it thinking, man, this is tight. This is solid. Absolutely. But I just wanted to go back a step there because we're going to get to like the meat of what your current offer is and what people should be looking at buying and getting. But your decision process there, because you mentioned it, you were out with your wife, and you basically made this decision. What constitutes you making a choice? Because obviously you must get hit up with people saying, hey, I've got something cool coming out, do you want to promote it? You must get that sort of pitch, I guess, all the time. So what is your decision making process on what to promote to your audience?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So for Tony, it was number one, it was for Tony Robbins, and I have a lot of respect for Tony and for Dean Graziosi. So I respect those two guys. And it was about the fact that we could go and have Tony's brain on our business in Fiji on his private resort in Namale. Like that was a big kind of driving force for me. Yeah. So number one, I knew it was a great offer. I know Tony would not stick his name on anything that wasn't great. So I could rely on the fact that his fulfillment and delivery was going to be top notch, just like ClickFunnels. Right? Yeah. Like same thing. Like the reason why I promote them so heavily and for so long is because I know that they have a proven product and they have a very large team to handle development and support and all of those things that are important to run a business. So all of those things aside, I promoted ClickFunnels and I scaled it because of the car.
Yeah.
It was like it was like a competitive thing.
Sure.
Right. I'm not a big affiliate for a lot of other things. I'm really not. I have an agency. We have, one of the most successful agencies in ClickFunnels community. I don't really need to do affiliate marketing. The reason why I did affiliate marketing for Tony and Dean is because I believe in what they're doing. They speak to my audience of experts, and it's part of my legacy, in my opinion. That's how I feel about it. Yeah. And then the trip to Fiji was like icing on the cake. Like I really wanted to be in Fiji with Tony, with Dean, and with all the other top affiliates. So I put my money where my mouth is, and I spent $100,000 of my own cash to back up me being there. Yeah. And I spent more than any affiliate, hands down, on the first launch. I spent more than any single affiliate ever. Like I spent the most money other than Dean himself. I spent probably the second most amount of money on their launch. And in the second year, I also backed that up and said, Dean, I committed to Dean $250,000 budget, and that spiked everybody else's budgets for launch number 2.
Cool. That's an awesome story. And like you say, it's going after something that has the extra that you wanted, like being at Tony's place in Fiji or getting the dream car. Those were what you were striving for. The numbers might not necessarily, although nice, might not necessarily be the end goal. It was what you were going to receive.
Oh, yeah. The numbers weren't the goal. Yeah. So I saw it like this. I'd spent $150,000 to go mastermind with Tony and Dean in Fiji. So even if I didn't make any money back, that $100,000 that I invested on the first launch, I got it back by being able to be there in Fiji. Right. Yeah. Now, thankfully, I made $100,000 on the front end of that promotion with Tony and Dean on year 1. So not only did I make $100,000 in pure profit, but I also got to hang out in Fiji. Right. So I didn't look at it from the money on the front end. I looked at, we have a business that obviously, serves clients in a done for you capacity. So all I figured as well, like if I get a couple clients from it, that's even more icing on the cake. Right. Sure. So I have a bigger, my lifetime value of my customers is a lot larger than most people, even for Tony and Dean. Like our lifetime value of our customers is higher. So, I can afford to spend money on the front end to break even or even lose money, and it'd be completely cool. Whereas all the other affiliates, they have to make money on the front end. They can't rely on the back end. And that's part of the secret to this.
Yeah. And I suppose that, we're not going to get into the whole value ladder thing, but that's part of, where a lot of affiliates, I think, mess up on, because they're not thinking long-term. They're just thinking about the easy win on the front end. Now, we're going to talk about Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, right? So this was an offer, and it's something that you still do now, right? Where did the motivation, the actual motivation or the idea for the golden ticket come from, and how did it develop, and where can people sort of like get plugged in?
Yeah. So freegoldenticket.com, and my wife created the idea. I was thinking one day, her and I were talking in my office, and I said, hey, how can we give something away for free plus shipping, like a USB drive or something where we can ship to people of our best funnels? and not just the funnels, but like but behind the scenes of what it takes to build those type of funnels that go on to produce 7 and 8 figures. And so she just blurted out, "Free golden ticket." I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory." And so she went to, when in college, she wrote a paper on the movie and the book. And so she knew all about it. And I didn't. So I immediately went and read the book and watched the movies, and immediately fell in love with it because of the parallels of, free golden ticket. And we coined everlasting funnels. We coined, Bryan Dulaney in the Profit Factory rather than the Chocolate Factory, and really had a lot of fun with it, So it was her idea. She gets all the credit for it, for sure. If it wasn't for the fact that she had written a paper on it in college, the idea probably wouldn't have come to her either. But coupled with giving away our best funnels, I love the idea of like those 5 winning tickets get to come into the factory. And so we created this offer where, we have these, I'm holding one up, but they're these golden tickets.
Yep.
And they're $50,000 value, because that's what One Day with Me is in my offices here in beautiful La Jolla, California.
That's crazy.
And it's basically where I spend time with people mapping out their funnels, their offers, and then their ad strategy to build a 7 or 8 figure business. And I believe in, strategically thinking through the plan to get the 7 and 8 figures, not just winging it, which most people do. That's what 90% of the people do. They just wing it these days. Like, oh, Tom's doing this, Russell's doing that, Tony's doing this, I need to do something like that. And they just go and wing something out and hope something sticks, right? And that's not a good strategy.
Sure.
It's kind of like I say this, it's like the strategy is like, okay, I want to build a dream home. Okay, I got to go buy the plot of land, and then run down to Home Depot and hire a bunch of orange aprons. I need someone from flooring, someone from hardware, someone from paint, and then they send them out into the field to go build a dream house. That's what most people are doing these days. And it's like that. When you build a dream home, you would never do that. You would go and you'd find an architect. That architect would build out the plans, the maps, the blueprints, and then he would go hire a general contractor. You'd hire a general contractor to go hire the team of people to go build the house, And so that's the way these things are built to be successful. I mean, the reason why we have so many 7 and 8 figure successes is because we follow that system. We don't just wing it. Winging it's not really a good idea. So I try to help people to avoid winging it and trying to do it all themselves. And I think learning about it yourself is a great idea. I mean, I'm a big fan of being well versed in knowledge and wisdom, but not doing it all yourself, because the jack of all trades is typically the guy who's, driving around in a beat up pickup truck. There's nothing wrong with the beat up pickup truck. But if you want more out of life and business, you quickly understand that the best of the world don't operate with the mindset of, I need to be the jack of all trades, I need to be good at it all, or I need to know everything, right? That's not a mindset of successful entrepreneurs. So that's kind of where the free golden ticket idea came from, and it just took off like wildfire, and it's been a huge blessing, and we're looking forward. Right now, we've got some new campaigns running for that as well.
And that's still available right now, yeah? People can get that?
Yes, freegoldenticket.com. You can grab a free golden ticket. We ship it anywhere in the world. It's $9.95, which basically what we say is just you cover the cost of shipping and we'll get it to you. I have had people say I should be charging $2,000 for the contents that are on the USB drive. But, I wanted to give back to the community in a big way. I believe that, the community's really blessed me over the years. And I wanted to give back. And I wanted to show, because there's a lot of crap out there. There's a lot of people teaching misinformation. Information is just not good for the masses.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to really give back to the community in a way to show people really what it takes to build a 7 and 8 figure business. Like, I'm not in the business of helping building 5 or 6 figure businesses, right? I'm in the business of building, $10 million plus companies. And that's what lights me up. That's what fires me up. And not just for the money, but for the impact. Like, the impact is what drives me. The impact is what drives Tony. That's why I resonate with him. The impact is what drives Russell. That's why I resonate with Russell, and, eventually you get over the money thing, and then you figure out like, yeah, this game is really about impact, and it's impact in other people's lives.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Awesome. This is so cool. I totally appreciate you being on, man. And everything that you've said has made total sense. I know everyone listening is going to take huge value from this as well. It's all about value and impact. And I love that stuff. It's awesome. So anyone that's listening, I highly recommend that you go, and there's going to be a link in the show notes anyway. So you can go ahead and get yourself one of those free golden tickets. But also make sure you go and subscribe to Bryan on YouTube as well, and go and check out that content that you did. What was the date on it? Just so people know.
I forget the date. It was a couple years back, but it's, there's 30 days. It's all on a playlist. So
Yeah.
31 days. I think I called it the 2 Comma Club Challenge, but it's all on a playlist, and there's 31 videos, and you can just binge watch it all. And I have received incredible feedback from those videos, just like you have given a good word of encouragement for it as well, Paul. But yeah, I've had phenomenal feedback from that content, and that's what I recommend that you guys do. I mean, pour your heart out, add massive value. What I always say is add value first in advance and earn the right to make offers. When you earn the right to make an offer is easy, and then you don't get any flack. You won't get any pushback. You might get 1 or 2, random pushbacks, but like when you serve from the heart first and add massive value, you're planting seeds that you can then reap a harvest in the future from.
Awesome, man. Bryan, it's been super cool having you on. I really appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing more of your stuff shortly and getting that golden ticket myself as well. That'd be awesome.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks for having me. And check out freegoldenticket.com, guys. And I look forward to giving you one of those USBs as well.